Hey everybody, it is Yo Taylor back here at the Style Table on My Style Mondays. Happy Thanksgiving. I am here today to talk. I'm going to give you guys a couple quick shopping tips. I'm going to give you tips throughout throughout the shopping season because the sales are going on like crazy. But today we're going to talk about spending your money wisely. And it's also the giving season, okay? And so I'm here today with my husband, who's also the CEO of the BBB Wise Giving Alliance and give.org. He's going to tell us and give us all kinds of tips on where to donate, um, how to donate our clothes and donate our things and save our money and how to give wisely. Art Taylor, welcome to the show.
Hey, good
Hey.
to be here.
So the first thing we need to know is we're all barraged with all sorts of mailers, all sorts of TV ads. We're all, I'm so emotional after everything I see on TV. I'm always giving to the stranger on the street. I'm giving, giving, giving. That's what we do. And because we are compassionate, giving people, and this season brings it out of us. And there are all sorts of things coming up, Giving Tuesday. Can you help us kind of, where do we start? Where do we begin? And how do we make some of these decisions?
Well, giving comes from the heart. And as you said, we're a very giving people. It's no surprise that you're doing a show on giving because you give everything. And it's remarkable, to watch you do your thing when you're just giving of yourself. I've noticed over the years how you will give complete to a complete stranger. You'll give to friends. You'll give to enemies. You'll give to everybody. You give everything you have, um, and most of the time, I will say it comes from your heart. You don't think a whole lot about it. You look at somebody and they appear to be down, and you reach in your pocket, and if you have a few dollars, you give it to them. We get held up on our trip because there's somebody at the light, and Yo-Yo has to give them some money. So that's just how it rolls. And it runs a little counter to the business or the nonprofit that I run because we want people to give from the heart, but we also want people to make sure that they're giving to the right things, to the things that kind of align with their values and the things that they believe are important to change in society through their resources, both money, time, and things. So, we do have this debate at home, don't we, from time to time about, you can't just give to everybody because there's a limited amount of resources. And no matter how big your heart is, your heart can maybe can't outlast, in some cases, your resources. But I do want to say this for people who do think to give from their heart, but say, this problem is too big. It's more than my little support can actually do to change things. To you, I would say two things. First of all, research has shown that when you give something to someone, you generally think the impact of that gift is maybe a 3 out of 10. So if you give somebody $1, you think, the person feeling that, they're probably feeling it at a 3. But research is showing that when you give something to somebody, they might think it's a 7 or 8. And a lot of times we're reluctant to give that dollar because we think it's not going to have the kind of impact on the person that we think it will have. It's just the opposite. It has way more impact for this reason. It's not only the value of what we give, it's the fact of giving that uplifts a person and actually makes them more likely to give to other people. And so the giving season for me is way more important, way bigger than I think we we make it because we kind of think about it in terms of, well, we got a tax return. Now's the time to make our gift so we can get that tax deduction. And by the way, fewer and fewer people are eligible to get a tax deduction
Yeah.
because of the tax law changes. But we also think that maybe this is good, that we're going to make a difference in someone's life, or we're going to help affect a cause. But it's more than that. If everybody gave $1, believe me, that person is feeling it a lot more than you think they are. And they are more likely to become a giver. And what that means is if everybody in the world gave $1, the impact would be enormous. It would literally change the world. So your $1 or your few dollars or whatever you have to give, your clothes, they have a big effect not only on that person, but what on that person does. And if it's done at a broad scale, it could really change the world. So that's the first thing I want to say about this whole thing of giving. Now, in terms of giving with your head, you want to make sure you're checking out the organizations that you're giving to. And it's no surprise that fewer and fewer people are actually giving money to charities because there's a lack of trust, not only in charitable organizations, but in institutions in general. Charities are more trusted than others. But in the last 20 or so years, we've seen the number of families go from 66% of American families giving to somewhere around 49.5% of American families giving. And I think some of that has to do with a lack of trust. And so the way we fix that is by checking out the organizations before we give. And fortunately for everyone, we have a website. We were an organization founded by the Better Business Bureau. We're kind of the Better Business Bureau for charities. And our organization at give.org does evaluations of many of the charities that will be soliciting you over the holiday season. And you're going to find that some of those charities will meet our standards and have our seal, and those are the groups that you want to support. Some won't meet our standards, and you'll want to check them out a little bit more closely before you give and just find out why it is that they don't meet our standards. It may be that the things that we call them out on are not things that are so important to you, but I can tell you that we do very rigorous evaluations of those organizations, and you'll want to check them out. And the last thing I'll say, Yolanda, is that, one of the most important things we can think about during the giving season is, how we can get the most out of our gift. Well, the first thing you got to do there is not make sure you're giving to the right thing. There are lots of named organizations that have similar names, especially if it's cancer or giving to police and firefighter organizations or giving to many organizations that seem to have similar names. I mean, Make-A-Wish Foundation has lots of organizations that have created sound-alike names. So make sure you're giving to the right Make-A-Wish, making sure you're
Wow.
giving to the right organization. Cancer has thousands and thousands of organizations that have cancer in their names. So a lot of times you think you're giving to one organization, but you might not be. So you have to be very careful. If you get a solicitation, go to the charity's website directly. Don't use a link. Go to the charity's website directly, because people can put up these phony links sometimes and take you to a giving page that's not really focused on what you want to give to. So those are
Wow.
just three things I would say.
Yeah, because when you hear like make a wish, and if someone just puts, you know, make wish, you just go
Right.
on and you're just giving and you're not really thinking about it because right now you're just thinking you're giving from your heart. And this is an organization that you feel really excited about, and you're not actually giving to the organization that you think that you're giving to.
Right.
So that's a big tip.
Yeah.
That's an important tip. I could easily see, we're all busy this time of year and we're moving and grooving. We don't have time. We're shopping, we're doing things. So it's easy to make that kind of mistake. So you want to make sure you guys to really take an extra few moments, go to give.org. And are those links, can they link and connect to the organizations from your
Right.
website?
You can go right from their report page on our website to their giving page, their donation page on their website. So you can give directly to that organization just by clicking their link from our website. And then that way you're sure that you're giving to the right organization, because we're linking right to those organizations.
See,
The
there.
other thing I wanted to just call out is During the holiday season, there's a lot going on, and people can get a little down, honestly, and it can dampen our desire to give and our feeling that we can make a difference. Well, for that, I want to encourage people not only then, but just check out the Heart of Giving podcast. The Heart of Giving podcast, I guarantee you, will inspire you because we have guests on this show who have dedicated their lives to giving to others, and they've done some remarkable things. It's just amazing. Every time I get a chance to talk to another guest on that show, I'm just inspired myself. I mean, sometimes they just bring me to tears. I was talking to a woman the other day who runs an organization out in the San Francisco Bay Area, and she was just talking about how her life led her to working to address people who don't have homes. And she was saying, I was so moved by this cause because I remember as a young girl, people took care of us after my father was murdered.
Wow.
And, when she said that, I was like, wow, it's no wonder you're giving your life because your life would have been very different had it not been for the community that embraced you. And I think most of us can say that. Most of us can say at some point in our lives, a nonprofit organization stepped in and helped, whether it was the local YMCA, it could have been your church or religious institution, it could have been a hospital, it could have been a school, it could have been any number of things that just sort of stepped in at a moment when you might have been teetering and it made a difference for you. So, we as humans, we have a soul, I believe, and that soul gives us the ability to understand what we are as an individual, as people, but it also gives us the ability to appreciate community. We're the only species that can really understand and choose to be part of a community and get real benefit from that community. And we get that benefit when we give. The more we give, it can be, sometimes really painful. Sometimes we give things to people and we wish they would stop asking because it doesn't seem that their circumstances are going to change. But that's all part of community. That's stuff that gets worked out, you know.
Right.
It gets worked out in community. So anyway, I don't want to take up all your show, but I appreciate
Well,
you letting me
that's
talk
what
a little about
that's what this show is about today, in particular, because um,
it. Hey, what about people giving clothes?
yeah, the people who are giving clothes. I was driving down the road, like I think it was last or this past winter, and there was a man that had, like, he just had on shorts and a t-shirt and slides and some socks. He had a blanket around him. So when you think these old coats, even though they're not perfect, even though they may have a little bit of a stain on them or whatever, you guys donate those clothes to the homeless shelters if they need them, because that man could have used a coat. He could have used a coat. He could have used pants. He could have used a lot of things to keep him warm. So people do, you're definitely enriching the lives of others when you donate to organizations like Dress for Success. You're helping women to get on their feet and get back out there. There's also battered women's organizations that you can give your clothes to, because no one is needs clothes more than someone who's trying to escape domestic violence, and they're just running with the clothes on their back, and their babies with them, and teenagers are with them. So the things that you're donating are appreciated. They're not perfect, but guess what, they are appreciated. So I hope you will consider donating your clothes. Goodwill is a part of, is a accredited charity, correct?
Yes.
And it's easy to donate those clothes and clean out while you're clearing out your closet as you're shopping to buy more. You All you have to do is drive up and lift up your trunk, and they'll come and get it and give you a receipt. And you're helping other people, and they are also employing people too. So they're also giving people jobs. There are organizations like the Salvation Army, I believe.
Mhm.
They'll come to your
Salvation.
house. Several veterans organizations will come to your home and pick those clothes up for homeless veterans. And you guys, the homeless number among veterans, the number for women are extremely high. So please remember that you can give without having to, you've already paid for the clothes. So, and if you're not going to use them, give them to someone who can really, really use them.
And it's true you say that a lot of people don't even use it. I mean, people have clothes in their closets they never use.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with tags on them, not that, well, okay, yes, I'm guilty, but but it happens. And sometimes you think that you're going to wear these things and you just end up not wearing them or you forget them. And we live in a world of abundance, and we're blessed in this country. And if you're blessed, please share your blessings with other people, because listen, and he always says I do it because, I look at people honestly. By the grace of God go I. I always think, you know what? My life isn't my life isn't perfect, where anything could happen to us, where we might need help, and where we might need an organization to step in and help us as well. So that's why you want to give to your favorite organizations. And remember, don't the people that work at these organizations, nonprofit organizations, they work hard. They work hard. And I know people think that there's kind of like this, well, why are they getting paid? They should just be doing it from their, they have to, in order to make an organization work well, you have to have the best people with big hearts. And so they need to be paid. They have families, and they're doing a lot of hard work from their heart, and they're not getting big corporate salaries, trust me. But they are
Well, these
working hard.
people, they're allowing us to express our generosity through them.
Yes,
Without them, nothing gets done. What would you be giving to?
right.
So we want to be generous. We want to give things. We want to give our money.
Yeah.
We want to see change in our society. We want to see people living decent lives, especially when they have been affected by things beyond their control. So we want to do that, and that's a great thing to do. It gives them something, but it also lifts us as people. It's empowering to give your resources. It's something that you always have control of. If you think your life is spinning out of control, just take something, no matter what it is, and give it to somebody or give it to an organization. And you immediately have taken control of your life. At least for that one episode, you've taken control of your life. So check out Heart of Giving podcast and go to give.org. Those are the two things that I want people to remember today. You
And
want to get
subscribe
all
to
you
his
can.
podcast.
Oh, please subscribe to the podcast
Yes,
because
yes,
it's going to do so much for you. I've
right.
had some amazing people on this thing, and you're going to love listening to them. Leave a comment so I know you came by.
And you guys, I want to talk really quick. I hope you learned a lot. I hope it was uplifting. I hope it was positive information. And thank you for spending your time with us. But I also want to leave you guys with some shopping tips. Number one, again, while you're shopping, make sure that when you're buying clothes for yourself, look at the measurements, know your measurements. Those things are final sales, and you cannot send them back. So definitely you want to make sure that you're buying the right thing and not doing so much impulsive shopping just because there's so many sales. So you don't end up with a whole bunch more things in your closet that you'll have to give away or try to sell. Or so you want to be mindful of that. And lastly, because I'm not going to keep you guys long, I know you guys have cooking to do and getting ready for family, and I appreciate you stopping by. But while you're out there shopping, you guys, please, 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 especially ladies, be safe. Watch your surroundings. These stores, be careful. I'm hearing all kinds of things about people sticking napkins in your handle. There's like some kind of thing to make you sick on them, and dollars and different things that they're sticking on your cars. Make sure that you're parked. If you see some kind of van that's parked next to you that doesn't look right, ask somebody, ask a store clerk, ask for help to your car so you feel safe. And that's the main thing I want to leave with you guys while you're out there having fun and shopping and getting those deals. Be safe and give wisely. Go to give.org, subscribe to the Heart of Giving podcast. Also, check me out on atthestyletable.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You can see this show and many others on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I'm also on LinkedIn. So connect with me. And if you need your wardrobe updated and you need some help cleaning out that closet and shopping correctly, I'm your girl. I got you. I got you because I love it. So, any rate, I will see you guys next week at 7 p.m. on My Style Mondays. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.